let's define agents. And this is the definition that is in my book. Agents are LLM-driven software systems that are able to interact with their environment and take autonomous actions to complete a task. In this case, there are two important things. One is the autonomy part, and one is the ability to take actions where they can interact with their environment. Now, the autonomous part is the tricky one because autonomy is a spectrum. You can have full autonomy where the LLM is the one that is making the decision, but you can also nudge it towards making decisions using a prompt or using software. The way I saw it at that time was you had these three approaches. One is the full autonomous approach, where just a user, and this user can be a human or it can be another piece of software, queries the model decomposes the task, does the planning, and then it interacts with a variety of tools or data stores, and then it gives you a response. The user only has to supply the query or what needs to be done, and the model is responsible for everything else. It does things autonomously. Then there is also somewhere in the middle where you have the explicit approach, where the user not only supplies the query, but it also gives the model a set of instructions, maybe in the prompt, maybe as part of some software scaffolding. It says, okay, for this type of query, you have to do step 1, do some task. Step 2, you have to retrieve something. Step 3, you have to call an API. And that sequence is always fixed. You can get a lot more predictability, especially if there are use cases where you have very fixed workflows. This is not exactly autonomous because you are actually telling the model what needs to be done and when. If you look at the nomenclature right now, many people are using this approach, but they are still calling them agents. Then if you go to the further end of the spectrum, there is the passive approach, where this is like the traditional RAG setup, where the model doesn't even know that it's not actively interacting with the environment. It doesn't know that this is coming from a retrieval engine. All it knows is that it's fed a context and a query, and it has to give a response.